America's secrets exposed. Trump executive order declassifies JFK, RFK, MLK Jr. assassination files.
Wait a minute. We got to run that back.
It's all coming out. A lot is being exposed in the last days. Christ told us, what's in the dark shall come to light. It's going to be very interesting to see what comes out. America's secrets exposed. Trump executive order declassifies John F. Kennedy, JFK, former U.S. president who was assassinated. RFK, Robert F. Kennedy, also assassinated. MLK Jr., I know y'all know him. The Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. just had MLK Day. MLK Day was on the same day as the inauguration. So we gotta see Trump, he's declassifying their assassination files. And I'm very curious to see what comes out because Trump has said that there's a lot of corruption in the federal government. These are all very important parts to highlight, and we got to see how God is behind all of this. Last but not least, y'all knew this was coming. Trump, Third Amendment.
Fatality.
Trump, third term. Trump for life. Constitutional amendment to allow Trump third term introduced in the House. Now, presidents are under American law and policy to have up to 2 terms serving as the leader of the free world. But there's a constitutional amendment that's been introduced in the House to allow Trump to have a third term. My, what a surprise. So now you got people in fear. Oh my, are they going to let this guy run things forever? Similar to Russia's Putin. And again, we as enlightened brothers and sisters in this walk, we don't always have opinions politically, but we see and we know where things are going. God showed this to us. We've got to get ready, brothers and sisters. Trump is the great white hope that America wants to keep in office as long as possible. No matter what they do, we got to stay focused on us. We got to focus on pushing our nation forward. Because some of our people might be dependent on DEI. Don't think I forgot about that. We got to have our own. When Trump came into office, he immediately took action against diversity, equity, inclusion programs. I want y'all to notice this. Here's what Trump said coming directly out of the horse's mouth.
My administration has taken action to abolish all discriminatory diversity, equity, and inclusion nonsense. And these are policies that were absolute nonsense throughout the government and the private sector. My administration has taken.
Now I need y'all to see DEI stands for diversity, equity, inclusion. And a lot of those DEI programs are run by white people. The programs that are supposed to be intended to benefit us and other so-called minorities are run by specific kinds of people who don't always represent us. Nonetheless, Trump said that's no more.
Nope.
Trump said in his inauguration speech, you're not going to get rewarded because of race. If you're going to be rewarded, it's going to be because of merit. And a large portion of us are going to be impacted by that. My people, this is why we gotta improve. This is why we gotta mobilize. We need our own. But of course, despite all of these things happening, some of our sisters think that they are in the clear. They think that they are absolved. Watch this.
Still the most educated.
in the country.
Let me run that back.
Y'all could take DEI out of everything employment-wise. We're still the most educated.
So this black woman, our beloved sister, says DEI removal is not going to impact black women.
Nope.
Because black women are the most educated demographic in the country. So you can remove whatever you want to, President Trump, because we're going to be all good.
In the country. Y'all could take DEI out of everything employment-wise. We're still the most educated. In the country.
Keep that same energy. Laugh now, cry later. A lot of our people, they don't see what's coming. But brothers and sisters, y'all better get yourselves together. Now, before we switch gears into Bible prophecy, I want to say this. Even when it comes to Saudi Arabia, Trump is putting pressure on them. You know, you really got to have some balls on you to say some of the things that Trump is saying.
Yeah, seriously.
Because Trump said this at the World Economic
And it's
Forum.
also reported today in the papers that Saudi Arabia will be investing at least $600 billion in America. But I'll be asking the Crown Prince, who's a fantastic guy, to round it out to around $1 trillion. I think they'll do that because we've been very good to them.
Now I just need y'all to listen to what he said. The Crown Prince said, we'll invest in America. We'll give America $600 billion. Trump said, oh, really? He said, no, why don't you round that up to $1 trillion? $1 trillion. And that's a hell of a rounding, by the way, if I've ever heard it. You know, a lot of times when they talk about rounding, it's because you're kind of close
Right.
to the next number. You're almost at that 5. Saudi Arabia said, okay, we're going to give y'all $600 billion. That's no light money. Trump said, nah, round that out to $1 trillion. Oh, and by the way, do this also. Watch this.
And I'm also going to ask Saudi Arabia and OPEC to bring down the cost of oil. You got to.
So he said, not only are y'all going to pay us $1 trillion for us to be the great superpower that we've been, y'all going to reduce your oil prices too.
Fatality.
I'm telling you, this guy is something else. But there is a lot that's happening right now in the United States. And we just got to stay very aware of it, brothers and sisters, okay? We ought not to walk about in darkness. Now, I want you to see something right here. The nations are looking very closely at America. They want to see how they're going to be impacted by all of this. But why is all of this happening? Why does God allow Donald Trump to be in office? What is God's purpose behind all of this? Let's go to the book of Revelation, because God's word has the answers. Revelation chapter 1, verse 1.
The revelation of John, chapter 1, verse 1. The revelation of Jesus Christ, which God gave unto him, to show unto his servants things which must shortly come to pass. And he sent and signified it by his angel unto his servant John.
Now, the book of Revelation is about the end times. We are living in the end times now. This will shortly come to pass. Revelation chapter 17, verse 1. The whole book, it's a book about what's about to happen in the end times. Let's read.
The revelation of John, chapter 17, verse 1. And there came one of the 7 angels, which had the 7 vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication.
Notice that God speaks very strong against this woman, the great whore. Wow, I didn't even know the Bible used such strong language. A woman in sin, fornication. This is a corrupt woman that has the world's leaders in bed with her. I wonder who this is talking about. Can we read this again from the top?
Verse 1. And there came one of the 7 angels which had the 7 vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters.
So there's a great whore that sitteth upon many waters. God says there's a judgment for her. Read.
With whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication.
This woman has fornicated with the kings of the earth. Fornication is sin. Fornication is an act that goes against the righteousness of God. With whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication. Read.
And the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication.
In other words, the rulers of this world, they're intoxicated by this woman's influence. Their thinking is impaired because they're in bed with this woman. There's a woman that all of the rulers of this world are in bed with. Who is this talking about? Verse 5.
And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth.
This woman is called Babylon, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. This woman proliferates sin throughout the world. Verse 18.
And the woman which thou sawest is that great city.
So it's not talking about a literal woman.
Nope.
This is all allegory. All of this is a revelation about what's happening in the end times. The woman which thou sawest is that great city. Read.
Which reigneth over the kings of the earth.
This city reigns over the kings of the earth. In other words, Babylon is a superpower in this earth that influences all nations around the world. This Babylon influences nations, y'all, worldwide. Who could this be? Who's the greatest superpower in all the world? Who is the greatest superpower in the world? Brother Kwamwala.
Shalom, leadership.
Shalom, Ak.
United States of America.
The United States of America. The United States of America is Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots. The United States has influence throughout the world. Maybe you forgot this. Can we bring this back, Elder Yakin? I gotta bring this back. I want them to see the World Health Organization slide that we were just on, because y'all must have forgot. Y'all must have forgot. All the nations are pissed off because the U.S. is no longer a part of this. Leaving the World Health Organization means the U.S. will no longer directly shape the international organization. They're letting you know the U.S. shapes this world globally. The United States has a global reach. That's why when you read in the prophecy about Babylon, it says, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. In other words, the United States shapes the world as a whole. That's the reason why the US dollar has so much impact. That's the reason why all the nations are looking to see who's going to be set up as president in the US. How is their military going to run? The US has influence over the entire earth. America is the greatest superpower known to man. Biblically, America is known as Babylon the Great. Why do you think you see so much sin here? Why do you think you see the promotion of the LBGT agenda here? Why do you think that things are so lawless? America is the mother of harlots and all abominations. Okay, in America, they teach the people in their mainstream religion, which is Christianity, you don't have to do anything to serve God. Just say that you love Jesus. You don't have to have no kind of discipline about you. Nope. You don't have to keep no laws. The laws are done away with. Live a lawless life because it's all good in Jesus. That's the mother of abominations. You had something, Elder Yakin? Go ahead and bring it out.
Yes, sir. Real quick. I was just going to say
topic.
That's the reason why the other nations can't stand the U.S.
Correct.
Because they'll influence their people. And what'll happen is they'll say, okay, well, you can watch porn. You can be in the LGBT community.
Absolutely.
And the other nations hate America because they influence their people. And now the other nations are doing the same thing as well. It's the mother of harlots.
Absolutely. You know, there's been countries out in the Middle East who would not play certain Disney movies in their countries. Because in those Disney movies, they're promoting homosexuality. And they said, no, you're not bringing that to us.
Nope.
Keep that over there with y'all. And then you'll see America wage war against them. Babylon, she has influence throughout the world. And I want y'all to notice, every time you hear Trump talking about what he's about to do, he always says that he's going to bring America into the golden age. He always talks about the golden age of America. What does the Bible say about that? Jeremiah chapter 51.
The book of the prophet Jeremiah, chapter 51, verse 7. Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad.
Babylon is a golden cup that made the earth drunk. The reason it's saying it's a golden cup that's made the nations drunk is because it's referring to a nation that's wealthy and full of sin. Can you read this again?
The book of the prophet Jeremiah, chapter 51, verse 7. Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad.
Babylon is a wealthy nation that's full of sin, and the sins of Babylon has made the earth drunk. Babylon is a golden cup in the Lord's hand because God uses Babylon to bring judgment to the world. I need y'all to see that. Babylon has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand. The prophets are showing you it's really God behind it. That's why when we read in Proverbs, it said the king's hand belongs to the Lord. I'm going to read that again. I don't want to butcher it. Proverbs chapter 20 and verse 1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. That's the same thing that we're reading about right here. Kingdoms are run by kings. The term for the king of the United States is the president. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord as the rivers of water. He turneth it whithersoever he will. We read it in Proverbs. We're reading it now in Jeremiah. Jeremiah says, Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord's hand. So not just the ruler of the American empire, the entire American empire is ruled by God. He has a course of how he wants America to run.